Here comes Riggs Eckelberry from OriginClear. How are you, buddy?
We have the technology.
Yeah, you do. Hey, I've got Coach Deb here. Coach Deb is the author of the first book on Twitter called Twitter Revolution, or Riggs Eckelberry, of course, is very active in social media for his company called OriginClear. In fact, you can go to OriginClear.com and you'll see probably the most active and interactive website for a public company that I think I've ever seen. Their stock symbol, by the way, OCLN. And there's a lot of new stuff happening with you. So in the years that we followed you as a public company, you have gone from this little tiny little cubby of a little company to a massive sort of juggernaut. And the latest is pretty interesting because this has to do with our health, doesn't it, Riggs?
Yes, absolutely. Well, just to recap, we are in $1 trillion industry, which is water treatment worldwide. But that is big concrete and big iron, and it takes a long time to adopt. So when we say we got landfills in Malaysia, well, that's months of work. And here's what we learned this year is that people, you and I, we really care only about one thing, and that is the water coming out of our faucet. That's what we care about.
Yeah, right. That's true.
And it turns out, you can go to, there's a great site, Environmental Working Group, where you can put in your zip code and find out the contaminants in your water. And oh my God, there's things like the feminization of men because of the estrogen in the water. And the big one that we're targeting right now is the weed killers, which are, we believe, causing cancers to spike in the Midwest because of the glyphosate, which is Roundup, being in everything, the water, the food, and the land.
The feminization of men is because of the estrogen in the house.
There's more women
and in our lives
taking over
and on the road. I'm just saying. I'm listening. Cool. Anyway, so talk to us how you guys are addressing that, Riggs, because I think it's pretty interesting, and I think this is going to go viral when people start figuring it out.
Look, people have always, when I first started talking about this, people, emailed me and Facebook me. And by the way, at OriginClear on Facebook is a great place to look, and we've got a lot of new stuff about the Roundup there.
Imagine that.
But people would say, "Oh my God, here we have this huge problem. I've known it's been a problem all along. I haven't known what to do about it." Which is, I know that my Brita filter and the city water district and so forth, they don't get out these drugs and solvents and the weed killers and the estrogens. And now we finally have a possibility. Here's why. Conventional filters do not take these things out. They can only be reacted out electrically, and that's what our process does.
And we want to talk about this because the technology your tagline used to be breakthrough water cleanup technology, and it was hydrostatic water cleanup, basically using a proprietary process, using should I say electricity to clean the water. I think that's part of the issue. But you were able to take sludge out of the oil fields and turn it into potable water in a matter of minutes. And I think one of the good analogies you always brought up, Riggs, was the fact that ammonia sometimes takes days and weeks to clean out of water. You guys can do it in seconds. So now you've taken this to the final level, because we always sort of talked about drinking water in your business, and it went from agricultural water to water cleanup in oil fields and even algae and so on and so forth. What does it take for your technology to be mandated and to be adopted on a high level so that we can actually turn the tap on and not get feminized?
Well, in America, companies and governments react very slowly to mandates. They generally field lawyers to take care of the problem for as long as possible till they absolutely have to do it. So this is not the high-speed adoption. We are currently proving that our technology, and we have forthcoming announcements, stay tuned and be sure to be subscribed to our newsletter, announcements that we can effectively delete these contaminants from the water table, and therefore perhaps a bottler might be interested in having water treated for microcontaminants. And that's what we're focusing on, is where, remember that our business model hasn't changed. We are the Dolby inside. We're the licensor. Mm-hmm. This is just another application. And we always look for the early adopters. This is my .com experience, where you never talk to the conservatives and the skeptics. If you're going ho-hum, we'll let you go ho-hum until the end until you finally come around when the rest of the world has. We're going to go for the people who need it right now, and that's why we have deals in Malaysia, Algeria, now Oman, you name it. It's wherever people put up their hands and go, I need this now today. So here's the plan with the mic. Go ahead.
So here's my question. By the way, the stock symbol is OCLN, OriginClear.com. You can go to OriginClear on Facebook and find them. My question for you is this. You talk about the world's biggest polluters, and you named a couple of them. One of them, though, is China, and we've had a conversation about this in the past, Riggs. How do you get a country like China, who, by the way, has mandates that sound a lot like this if you don't follow their laws? How do you get them to take on a U.S. company? Because I think you've already made headway there. Because this is obviously the next step. Not only are you cleaning up sewage there, how do you get into their water supply? Is there an easy way to make inroads there as a company?
Yes, but it's a huge environment. Remember, again, that water systems take time to build. And so we are working in China. We have a major commercial scale deal going on in Malaysia, as you know. We just opened up India with a strong player there. And India is, oh my God, it's yet another huge frontier for water cleanup. But these things, we liken it to pushing string. You start a major, $5 million project, and it just kind of bumps along. What we think is that this environment, first of all, is of great concern to people. They really care. And secondly, there is an actual consumer water category called microtoxin-free, and that is what we've defined. And we believe that we can get a premium water player like a bottled water player to go into it with us and be sort of the tip of the spear. And that's what we like to do. And then, of course, everybody else follows. Eventually get the water districts a little while later. But we're focusing, for example, we were talking to a doctor in the Midwest who's one of our key shareholders, and he is actually a neuro-oncologist, and he is seeing brain cancers spike in Wisconsin, where he is based. And he said, I quote, every family in the Midwest should have one of these units in their basement. Thank you.
Well, and by the way, so listen, Riggs, and next time I want to talk about some of the other, because I know you're working with the University of Florida and some other places. We're going to have you on next week. The name of the company, OriginClear.